I don't know how you talk me into these things, really.
You know I
Um,
do. I jump
Hey,
on
long
yours,
time
man.
no
Come on.
see.
yeah, really.
Hello there.
How do I do this without a camera?
You're fine.
This is
No,
hilarious.
I'm not.
She is so bold and so shy at the same damn time.
Look, when you grow up in the entertainment industry, you don't want any evidence that you're human, okay?
Of course, of course, of course.
Thank you.
What is going on in Canada as far as what we've been talking about that you know of?
Well, part of the biggest problem with Canada is its land mass size. Canada is the second largest land mass for a country in the world, and partially
Is it?
because of that, we have a
Right,
lot
it
of
is.
extremes. Yeah, we have a lot of physical extremes in this country. Everyone's got
Yes,
the
y'all do.
stereotype that we're all about winter and snow, and that's not the case. Up north, of course, in the Northwest Territories, it is, but down here, there are parts of Ontario, like our most southern tip, is equal to the northern tip of California. So it's such an extreme that the government has had to basically come up with such different rules for each province and even then parts of province. So if you live, for example, I live in Toronto, so the lockdowns and the restrictions and the specifications and the requirements are much stricter than my friend who lives like an hour and a half north of the city on a farm. And the biggest problem they've had here is trying to keep people from going to cottage country or camping, because then they're bringing the downtown possibility, greater chance of having the virus into communities that don't really have the virus.
Understood.
So it's been the difficult thing is trying to get people not to travel or not to disappear, but to deal with it. So what they've done is um, they've taken up, like they've done things like they've taken up on all the major streets, they've taken up one lane of traffic, like right next to the parking lane, and they've put benches out and they've put tables out and everything so restaurants can open, because they don't have patios. They're downtown streets. They don't have these patios. So
Hmm.
they've given up a lane of traffic to try to create COVID safe patios for all these restaurants so the restaurants can open. They've done, it's easier to get the vaccine now. They've taken chunks of malls and turned them into sort of like a large mass vaccination sites.
Since the malls are
School,
shutting down anyway, I can understand that. Yeah,
yeah. Well,
the
they
malls are
basically
suffering.
a lot of the stores have gone under, so they've gone, instead of leaving them empty, the government's basically saying to these malls, we're going to pay you to be in there. So they've taken these empty stores and turned them into vaccination sites.
Right.
Um, and there's still a lot. Like, I mean, we're we're U.S. North when you think about it. We still have our own identity, but at the same time, 90% of what we do is very American based. Like what we watch, what we listen to, what we there's Canada is very much America's cousins, and
Facts.
so you get the extremes that you get in the States. You just don't get it in the same way. Like you get it. Protests are much more organized and more civil, unless we win a game. If we win in sports, then that's it. All hell breaks loose. But
Yeah. When the Raptors
That's
won,
what I
y'all did
said.
break loose. Yeah.
but it's hard on a lot of us. It's been really hard on Martin and I because our industry is. I've realized that I've lost 9 friends in the last 2 years, and
Wow.
only one of them is due to COVID, and I have one friend who wound up massively in the hospital because of COVID, and so suffice it to say, things like masks are no big deal. I don't give a damn why. I'm a cosplayer and I'm a costumer and I'm a prop maker, and I've had more things on my face than anyone can imagine. So it's for me it's just another piece of cloth. It's just part of the costume. It's not. But losing 9 people and you know not necessarily to COVID, but I've got one friend who I can't help but wonder if
That's
they
the cause. Yeah.
well if she's been sick for a while, and the medical when the whole COVID thing happened, the medical attention towards her dropped
Wow.
because the focus became more
on
COVID.
COVID than what her condition was.
And
That happened a lot in New
yeah,
York last year, right?
she's been sick for so long. I can't help but wonder if I don't think they did it on purpose, but
Wow, you think
it's
so?
the attention on. And Martin and I have gone through so much that we're not handling problems. We're not grieving people. Like his parents died at the beginning of the first lockdown, and it's probably age, but they said his mother had pneumonia, so we don't know. It could have been COVID. All we know is that we couldn't have access to the body until
No, pneumonia fell under one of the complications. I do remember that. Pneumonia
yeah,
was
until
under
they
that. It was on the
guaranteed
list.
safe.
But even if it
So
wasn't on the list, that's just it. No one was allowed to have funerals. It didn't matter what you died from.
No,
People,
you
we
couldn't.
weren't allowed to grieve. We
You're
still
right.
haven't been allowed to grieve.
hmm
And I can testify to
so
that
that's
myself because I was in New York
And
3 times last year for funerals, and we
well,
couldn't
right
even
now,
carry the body. They had somebody else do it.
yeah, well, right now Martin's in a program because these programs weren't existing during our first two lockdowns, and we're on a semi-lockdown now on number 4 for Toronto only, not the boroughs. So north of us and east and west of us, if you go far enough, there is no lockdown. Um, so there is no serious mask mandate, but all the campsites are still closed and
I'll just be damned.
cottage countries are still closed.
Look who just
But
popped up. How you doing, Christine?
Hi, you can see.
I'm good, but I didn't realize I've been studying all day. I look a mess.
hence
Didn't mean to
I,
cut you off,
I,
Chrissy.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, Card Hunter. Please, I just wanted to discreetly walk in.
that's all right. But
I froze up.
but yeah, so Martin, it's affected Martin more than me because it's his parents, and we haven't
Right.
had work. We've had some government funding. The government is in certain industries continuing with unemployment insurance, but it's not enough. Like, I mean, by the time I pay rent, I'm starving. So
Hmm.
it's I can't ask the government to give more because if they don't have it, they don't have it. But yeah, it's crazy. We're kind of like a hybrid between. We're still kind of stuck in between the U.S. and England when you think about the way we handle life. We're very much still um, under the philosophies of the monarchy, but the economic support of the United States. Like without tourism, we're badly being hit.
I can believe that. Yes, the international traveling. Yes, yes.
Yeah, American. Well, we're used to popping over the border to buy gas. I
Right.
mean,
I've heard that.
Canada. About 80% of our population lives within a 3-hour drive of the border.
Right.
I'm about 2 hours drive of the border from where I am, if
Gotcha.
not less. So we heavily rely on the United States in so many ways,
Mhm.
and I've snuck friends up to buy meds here too. Like I mean,
Don't
friends
say that
come
too
up.
loud. Don't say that too loud.
No, seriously, there's nothing they can do about it.
Oh, there's plenty they can do. Trust me.
You've got your prescription, and there are medications up here that don't require prescription.
That's my whole point. Stop telling them that.
So you just come up and buy. Canada doesn't mind. We'll make money off of you.
Oh God.
We don't care. You don't want you want to pay the extra few dollars, but our dollar is so different as well. So it's really cheap to come up from the U.S. and spend money.
Gotcha.
And
I'm gonna let Christine jump in because this is her first time.
Okay.
Lady, welcome aboard. Appreciate you bringing some
Hi,
input.
Tony. Hi,
How you
everybody.
doing, lady?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. Hi, Helga. Hey,
Hi,
everybody.
sweetie.
Hey, Emma.
No problem. What's going on in your location, please?
Well, so I live in Switzerland, so we're right in the middle on the border with Italy, France, Germany. Our numbers are, well, I don't know, the national law situation is we just now in May got to open up us good. We have different states. I'm in the state of Bern. All right. So our restaurants just opened up like in May. We were on lockdown for about a good 6 months. The restaurants were on lockdown. They just started opening up. Our numbers are going up. There's rumors we're going to be on the red, like no travel list for Germany because Germany is quite strict.
Right.
Good. Switzerland, it's hard to say. We do have to wear masks inside shopping areas. But they're never going to make us force vaccination. They're not going to do that. I don't think, you don't expect from my perspective, I'm next month, knock on wood, I'm going to graduate I'm becoming a certified aromatherapist after 3 years.
Congratulations.
So
Congratulations.
thank you. Thank
Wow.
you. Now I do wear, we do have mask mandates. So we have to wear masks indoors and in all medical facilities. And I am actually, just from my perspective, I am grateful, because if I get a cold, or if even like a boring ass virus is a risk to me, because then I have to cancel all my appointments. I can't let clients come if they have headaches or any kind of, these COVID-like symptoms. It affects my workflow. So, and I have friends who are teachers who have to wear them, and colleagues who work like in oncology and nurses and in palliative care and things, that they have to wear the masks all day. And I think sometimes I see on the media where people are complaining about wearing masks for, an hour, or to go to shop, to go buy milk or whatever. And I don't understand. Sometimes it's a little frustrating, because if my colleague who's complaining about teaching kids for 8 hours a day is complaining about a mask, I'm like, go for it. What I think it's hard, because everyone is being affected by this, and everyone needs to be heard. I understand that, like, we're all being affected. People are losing their businesses, losing their homes, losing everything. And I think the risk is sometimes we feel like, hey, hear me, listen to me, I'm also suffering. And of course, like, this is a great opportunity for people to voice their
Concerns.
their qualms. I don't know. Does that make sense? I mean, we're
Yes.
all being
Oh, it does.
affected in different ways, and very dangerous or harmful for our mental health when we are suffering and we're being ignored. So I think it's important that people can stand up and say, hey, this sucks. This pisses me off. People are dying. People are sick. We can't work. We can't move about freely, and yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Got you. Appreciate you. Good talking to you.
Yeah.
Congratulations on your degree. My son just graduated about
Thank
3
you.
months ago from college too. So get yours. Get
Right.
yours.
Yeah.
Straight up.
I'm doing my best.
Let me say,
Aromatherapy. Oh yeah.
let me say kudos to her. I'm also a certified recreational therapist in the States. So when you talk about aromatherapy, any kind of therapy, whether it be music, dance, art, all those different things, I use those different modalities. I wanted to say this because what she said, because I work as a mental health specialist as well. What you said is on point. In America, I don't know how things are happening where you are in Canada,
Mhm.
but in America, which has always been our problem, we have a serious mental health crisis, and
Absolutely.
there was an uptick, as many of you may already know, of people taking their lives, particularly our teenage kids taking
Yeah.
their lives during the process of this this
Well,
terrible this pandemic, whatever we want to call it. And what it has done to people, it has isolated you from your peers, from your
yeah.
family. It has made people feel hopeless, um,
Hmm.
Well,
very
and
depressed.
this
And if you
that
were already depressed and not feeling well, this whole
oh God,
thing
yeah.
just made it even worse. And
Well,
so in
I
America, we have people who are actually taking their lives. And I work in
Yeah.
this field. I deal with people who are trying to take their life,
well,
and
it's
it's a serious problem
There's
It
coming
says
in
still
there.
something about our
that's one of
country
the
and the
one
it's
that's one of
worldwide.
the that's one of the big things up
It is
here.
worldwide. I agree. The mental health aspect of it, that's the stress and anxiety we talked about earlier this year, Health.
Hmm.
Well,
They
Martin and I,
emphasized that at the beginning of the pandemic. Stress and
yeah.
anxiety will make you the
Well,
most
and this is it.
susceptible
Like, I
to
mean,
this
we're
because
in
it
an
throws your body
industry.
balance off. Your whole
We make
body goes off balance when you get stressed or anxious. So your immune system
yes,
weakens. It's
yes.
not just your diet. You see what I'm saying?
Um,
It's not
we're
just your damn
wait, say
diet.
it again, Tony.
When you get stressed or anxious, it weakens
Oh
your immune
yeah,
system.
Hmm.
we're about Martin and I personally, like on a smaller level.
which makes
We're in
mine
the
spray into
entertainment
overdrive.
industry, so
You know what I'm saying?
because we're
So
in an
all of you
industry.
got to look at that. Everybody's got a lot of times we get up here, we bug out, we trip out. It's a way for us to calm the hell down.
Well, yeah,
We're
and
global up here. We got
In
3
the
countries up here in 4 different states. Y'all see what's going on? Everybody's interacting with each other, and everybody's bringing some sort of peace of mind, which calms you down, which lowers your stress level, lowers your anxiety. You're boosting your immune system already.
It's
This ain't medicine. This ain't your diet. This ain't
Well,
nothing but your mental fucking health. We just covered that. Goddamn, y'all put you know what I'm saying? Put it together.
I don't.
I'm serious.
I've only got a few more minutes, and then I got to dash. But
Oh, we barely heard you. I thought you were still talking to Martin. Sorry.
one of the last things I wanted to say before I dashed is you hear about therapy based in art and therapy based in music. That is our industry, and when the whole lockdowns happen, a good majority of our industry is based on American producers coming up and shooting here, and we still don't have as big an industry like as there is in the United States, and therefore we rely again on American producers. And to go from moving across country, because we moved just before the first lockdown, we didn't see it coming, right? So um, because of that, we moved for a job, and then we watched as that job went away, like practically
Yes.
right after we arrived.
Yes.
And so it's not only financial for us that's affecting our mental health and everything. It's the fact that our art is our income as well as our therapy. And it was taken away real fast.
Yeah. It was
Facts.
immediate. It was
Facts.
immediate. It was.
And it's just like, and I grew up in this industry. I started when I was 8 years old. I'm 52 now. So, and that's why I sit at no camera, because, I really, my brain is mentally set to, you have to have your makeup on, you have to have your hair done, you have to,
You have to set
unless
an image. I already got
you,
you right.
yeah, unless someone's paying you to
You
look like
got
a
to set
mess,
an
don't look
image.
like a mess.
I think we need.
Right.
You
Oh,
know, so there's cameras everywhere, and I can't afford my good makeup anymore. So I'm trying to make it stretch, and so that's mentally affecting me, because that's therapy for me every morning. Is that put on my makeup before I even walk out the door. Even the corner store, I have to have my makeup on.
Right.
It's on a mental level. This has really had a massive effect for those of us who rely on that art in order to
Hmm.
survive. And yes, the mental health aspect is horrible. I'm grateful for things like Happs, but then again, you've got screen time, and the more screen time you have, the unhealthier you are as well. So it's one cascade after another, and I'm hoping that those who use art and stuff like that as therapy, I'm hoping you guys can get yourselves up and going again, as fast or if not faster than this industry, because we're right now we'll volunteer for anything. We'll starve just to do our art. We'll anything to get our brains back on track. Anything to get ourselves back out there. Anything to. I mean, I got the shot. Helga got the choice. See me sick.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I just needed to talk to someone, and you were around. And
That's
you're
what we do up
really
here.
incredibly calm. But yeah, it made me so sick. I was done. I got that shot, but I want to do my conventions. I want to get out to those sci-fi conventions. I want to, and they're asking people to volunteer now because financially they can't pay us anymore. And I'm sitting here going, I don't give a damn if I have to starve. I want to get back to the convention. I want to be in front of 2, 3, 4,000 people at a time. I want to, I need that. My art needs it. My mind needs it. And I get upset at people when they don't make an effort, not because I'm worried about their rights or anything, but I want back out there, and
Mhm.
I'm willing to get sick to do it.
Okay. Listen, I understand both sides, if I may
Yes.
speak,
Yes.
but don't you get it? Don't you get it? Each time they come with another variant that they will lock us up again.
Yep.
Don't you get it?
We get it, but they're trying to stop the lockdown now. They
I get
saw the
it.
effect it had last year.
I
When they tell me that I can't be on certain sets unless I get the shots. I can't. I can't. I my CT scan. I have a CT scan because I have a hole in a major artery, and they need to
Wait a
find
minute.
out.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. If you got a hole in the artery, you don't need no shot. You don't need to go out.
No, no. Let me finish. They have to do a CT scan in order to find out how thin the wall in that area is, to figure out whether or not they need to do something about it, or whether or not they just need to get my blood pressure down. Um, So to do that, I'm going into the hospital, of course, and they're going to inject a dye into my bloodstream so that they can track this. And they said we need at least your first shot. We need you to. It's going to be easier on us if you at least get your first shot. And I said good because I haven't had my booster yet. So
I am
there's that.
against it in your favor, and that's just a personal preference. I'm against it in your favor. You have
I,
two conditions you just told me that make you susceptible, and I would not recommend it personally.
I know, but
Right, right. As long as you understand. Thank you. As long as you understand.
oh yeah,
Can I
we
can I
need to
say
look at
something?
the.
Real quick, I just want to say, I all the best. I hope everything is okay for your health, and I hear everything that you're saying. I think what's interesting, or what hurts me most, or what I think hurts us as a collective, is how we always have to justify what we're doing. Either it be we go for the shot or we don't go for the shot, or we want to travel or we don't want to travel. I think it's like this. Do you guys agree? Or have you noticed? I know here, like if we wanted to meet, have like a family meeting at Christmas, everyone was
Mhm.
justifying, like, okay, well, we're going to my mother-in-law's, but we'll have the windows open, or we're going to go to see a friend, but we're going to be outside. It was always like this justification, and just like Kartunger just said, like she wants to get out, and and I think that's, for me, that's something very new. Like no matter what you do, we have this instant reflex to justify why we're doing it. Or I don't know. Do you guys agree, or does that sound weird? Does that sound crazy?
No, you're not
but
weird. I understand where you're coming from.
I
No,
haven't
it's not
been able to
crazy.
leave
It's
my home
entitlement.
since August of 2012 because a guy walked into a theater I was in and opened fire. I don't get. When this is all over, I still don't get to leave my home.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in quarantine for
Um,
5 years and I haven't lost my mind yet.
Jesus.
like,
And I haven't died from wearing a mask, which I have to do every
I
time I go
still,
out of the house. I think it's a state of the mental health and the condition people in this country. I mean, what's that say about us that after, a year of quarantine is really nothing? I mean, I don't mean to do the work aspect, that's different. That's different. But I'm just saying I don't get, I like everybody's going crazy like it's some kind of.
Well, the thing is, you've been in the house for a while, so you're used to it. A lot of people aren't used to just sitting still
yeah.
doing nothing. Now, what
you
Well, I
Carpenter is
wasn't
saying
used to
is,
it in the beginning.
Yeah,
in
but
the
Tony
beginning, no,
D.
but you've also
don't-
got
In the
more years.
beginning, I had to
Yeah.
give up.
I'm gonna get your
In the
information. Give me
beginning,
1
I had
second.
to.
I'm trying to get it straight. Eleanor, do me a favor. I got you as a director as well. I'm trying to get Heavenly Do uninvited, which I did already, but I don't see her up there. And she says she still sees it. If you know anything, can you give me a hand, please? This is Jeanette.
Takara, it's
Where was I at?
Takara, it's showing up
Damn, I
on
forgot
your
my thought. Y'all go ahead. My
Takara,
brother
it's
is
showing
speaking.
up on your profile because Tony did invite you, so it's showing up on your profile. So what you do is you basically take the broadcast that's showing up in your profile and delete it from your profile, and it'll disappear. But because it's already been connected, it's showing up because it's already there. So
Nope,
when
there you go, Takara. It shouldn't be there now.
What did you see? What did you do?
I uninvited it.
That's what I did before, and I don't see her
Yeah.
name up here
No,
anymore.
you didn't, because it's still on the main list. You have to go
When I
down
went
to
to
the
the
invite
on the
list.
invite guests,
Yeah, you don't see her because I
broadcast
changed it
permissions,
over.
I didn't see her before. Before I told you, I didn't see it at all. So if you saw it, cool,
Yeah.
because I took it up before. All right, appreciate it. We good.
Who else was needing it?
No, it was just Heavenly Do. It was just Heavenly Do. We good. Appreciate it.
okay.
Sorry, y'all.
But yeah, like I
Because
mean, for
I don't
someone
see
like
her.
me, in my industry and what I've been doing, what created my identity from a very young age requires a lot of people. I mean, it just does. I'm not this whole. I can't have games nights and because if friends come over, I'm breaching. I'm gonna have my birthday on Saturday, and I'm having a pirate theme, and I'm setting up in the backyard, and I invited 7 specific friends who, I feel are less likely to get me sick, and we're having it in the backyard. not at a public place, because you're only allowed 4 people at a table in a public place. So, what's the
Yeah,
point of?
social distancing isn't going anywhere. That's the biggest thing everybody
Yeah.
got to realize.
So
Social distancing ain't going nowhere.
yeah. So
Nowhere.
I'm going to stay within the rules. It's less than 10 people outdoors in a space where you can all have X number of meters apart, et cetera, which my backyard is. So I'm going to broadcast it because I want to connect with my friends. And
That's
if
what I was going
this
to
was,
suggest. Broadcasting. I was going to suggest that.
yeah, and if it wasn't for COVID, but I'm used to having birthday parties where I have 50 people in my home,
Right.
and everyone's bringing something and contributing food, and the cost is low but the energy is high. I even right now I'm trying to find a home for one of my cats because of the lockdown and because of the moves. She's mentally unable to handle anyone other than my husband and I in our home. Oh, sorry, we're partners now. We're not husband and wife anymore. But she won't handle anyone but the two of us. So if the two of us have to go to set for a week, that work picks up. She'll starve herself. She won't come out with the person that feeds her. So, and the other two cats are now picking on her. So even COVID's affected my cats. I needed people here all the time so she can mentally be, feeling secure, and she's not.
You're
So
a
I have
people
to
person,
find.
so it's killing you to be isolated.
Oh yeah, it's just
Yeah.
this is driving me. You guys are
All
great,
people are people,
but
people. Actually,
No, a lot of people aren't.
We're-
A lot of
but
people
we
aren't.
are. We need connection to survive.
Human interaction, yes. What the
yeah,
hell just happened?
Yeah.
Holy shit, what was that?
what?
My whole screen
Right.
just kind of went up and went down like Independence Day. I ain't know what the hell that was. In Italy last year,
They're
we held a
listening.
military.
It's
Go ahead.
definitely.
They're
Yeah.
listening, Tony. You're on the
I already
radar.
know that. I
Uh-oh.
know they're listening. But
That's
see, I'm
right.
not bullshitting. I'm
Newsflash,
not lying on them either.
newsflash. I have an incoming message. No,
Right.
I'm just kidding.
They're shutting you down, Tony.
Shit.
Yeah.
Nazim, I'm out of room. I'm going to bring you up
You can
in a
you can
minute.
put me
Well,
down.
I
hey,
can give up my
Tony,
spot.
Yes, sir.
Tony,
I'd
I'm
love
gonna
to.
step down, but
Why?
I just wanted to
I ain't
say,
tell none of y'all to leave. Where the hell y'all going?
I, I, I just wanted to.
I
I'm gonna
have to
step down
have
so
a
the other person can come
shower.
up, but I just wanted to say that what the lady had just said earlier is the truth. That I think as Americans, it's our culture. We have a culture in which we do have a lot of self entitlement, and we are used to a certain level of freedom and
Yes.
things that we take for granted that other people in other parts of the world uh, don't get those kind of freedoms.
Gotcha.
And I think that
I believe you. No, I'm
I
with
think
you on
the
that
whole thing
100%.
around wearing masks, I think everyone has their personal preference, but I feel like I'm going to say it again. If you know that there's something that could possibly take your life, whether it was human made or whatever it may be, you should at least give yourself a fighting chance to survive
100%.
what is occurring. Whether you're not going to take a vaccine or not, you got to do
Right.
other things as possible. You got to be safe. And what she said was right. There's some people, you're right, Tony. There's some people that are not used to being at home 24Z. And there's
Isolated.
some
Yes.
people that can adapt. But remember, we are all born with a different temperament. And what one person can take, another person cannot take.
Agreed.
That is in our DNA. That is based on our culture, how we
Yes.
grew up, and what
Yes.
have you. And
All
like I
that.
said before, if we were living in a place like China, for example, you would know based on the culture that if they tell your ass to stay in the house and don't you go out that door, because you know that there's a punishment that you're going to get. In America, we don't fear any punishment for anything
Punishment. Nope.
because we feel we can do what the hell. That's why you can have a man in a damn Walmart pull out a gun
Mhm.
because people are asking him to wear a damn mask. And now he's probably sitting in a jail cell or in prison because his dumb ass didn't use common sense and just say, let me wear this mask while I'm in the public since this is happening. And I'll take
Yep.
my mask off when I go home or when I go to the park. Now he's sitting in a goddamn prison cell, probably wishing that he
Over a
did
mask.
something as simple as put a goddamn piece
Over a
of
mask.
cloth over your
Over a
nose.
mask. There it is.
And
And
Right
hope
there.
he's
don't get
wishing.
me wrong, having a mask over your nose is not the most healthiest thing for
At
our
all.
bodies. I'm not saying that it is, But we are in a situation because, quite frankly, America did not prepare itself because of its arrogance for this pandemic. They knew this was happening. The government knew it was coming. Obama talked about it. Susan Rice talked about it. These folks were all talking about this, that we're going to have a pandemic coming. And another thing that we fail to do is that everything that they put in our American cinema, the movies, the sci-fi movies, don't sleep on it. They're telling you what's going on, and they're putting it right in your face in your entertainment, and you're saying to yourself, this is just entertainment. And they're telling you, look at all the pandemic movies that came out. Why didn't we take heed and prepare for this and say there's a
There is
possibility?
one on right now.
Right. And
there is one
and
on
then
right now. And if you
If
don't believe me,
let me make this
wait,
last
wait,
statement.
wait. If you don't believe me, go on cable and put on Outbreak. It's on right now.
Right.
That shit came out 20 years ago.
Let me make this last statement before
Yes,
I
sir.
get off.
I'm sorry.
This last
Go ahead.
statement. If you go back a year or 2 years ago, remember I brought this up before, Brother Tony?
Yes.
Under Donald Trump,
Mhm.
and even before Donald Trump, they signed into law the CARES Act 1 year in advance in January, a year in advance. You can. It's not a conspiracy webpage. This ain't no Alex Jones. You can go right to the government page. Right. Look up the bill. I think it was HR. You can look it up, and you will see the actual documentation in writing about the CARES Act and how they put that into action a whole year in advance, meaning money to give to people, to give the businesses in case you have something like this. If they didn't know that this was coming down the pipeline, why was this signed into law a whole year in advance? I think it was signed on 1/23/2019, somewhere like that. It's a fact, ladies and gentlemen. What that tells you is that your government knows exactly what's going on, and they are preparing in advance. They knew this was coming. They know what's going on. And once again, I'm gonna go by
I got you, Call Hunger. Appreciate you for coming
I'm
up.
gonna
Sorry,
go
you
by
good.
my expert.
Take care, lady.
Told
Holler us
me
anytime, though.
right. I'm gonna
Go
go
ahead,
with
bro.
my
Go ahead.
expert, who told me, who worked in the military in biological